G'day everyone. Proud to say Barkarati is brought to you by Radix Nutrition, makers of the most technically comprehensive nutrition products that have ever existed. Unlock your potential with Radix. G'day listeners, welcome to Barkarati the Sailing Podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some really cool sailors, but of course I have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. So first off, let's welcome Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
BP.
Well, it's safe to say that sailing's gotten in the way of another podcast.
Don't spoil
It's not even worth bringing the crickets out, is it? That they're even bored.
I agree. It is not worth bringing the crickets out.
We're just going to speak the truth. Our mate Bicey, he's once again had to go sailing. Well, what a pity.
Yeah, he's at the TP52 World, so we'll do some updates on that next week. He's not sailing; he's working. But you, of course,
he's super busy.
Super busy. You, of course, are in your mobile studio now, as we've come to call it. Recording at 5 a.m. So. It is.
Well, it's more out of courtesy, Jay.
For your family.
The new house is not quite set up yet, and it would kind of mean I'd be sort of sitting in the lounge room, right next to my daughters. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and don't want to go waking them up.
Yeah, young teenagers.
I see enough of them, mate. Believe me.
All right. Okay, let's get into this because I've been. Kind of keen to chat to our guest today for a long time. She's someone that sort of I've bumped into in the boat park in a few places, has a bit of experience doing the old commentary, and so this could be just a couple of commentators talking shit for a while.
Yeah, I think I might just end up taking a back seat here and just sort of listen to it all unfurl.
Part of the German sailing team, particularly in the 470 class, I also got to see her at sailing 505s in Cork in Ireland, and
of course you have.
And just a really great fun human being. One has got a beautiful, when I see her smile, I go, "Oh, you beauty!" We've got it's good to see her here. So I'm very happy to bring to the show and introduce her to all our listeners because I think you'll all become a fan as much as I am. Welcome to the show, Lena Stuekl. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I feel a bit bad for you getting up so early at 5 a.m. because I'm sitting here 9 p.m. German time, having like my beer, well deserved after work. But
it's okay. It's not unusual for us to have beer at 5 a.m. in the morning either. Don't worry.
Well, it's like the perfect guest, She comes on, she's cracked a beer, she's got a smile. Like it's a good start. It's a good start, Lena. We're very appreciative. And with all your sailing talent and experience, we're really interested in this chat. My first question is, if I'm trying to develop process strategies for the assembly of sulfuric acid electrolyte with lithium anode batteries, how do I go about that?
So you need like a high quality equipment, and then you need like good colleagues like me that can like help you with that.
I don't know if you realise that, but the podcast is all about networking. And with Jay, it will usually mean something to do with his cruising catamaran in 5 years' time. So stand by. You might get a phone call about some sort of technical question.
No, it's pretty impressive.
So you obviously read my LinkedIn profile, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like, it's pretty impressive stuff. The ability to be a champion sailor and then also to put this together, like I was stunned because I know that batteries are they're huge at the moment in terms of importance around the world, and I was just thinking, wow, how clever to be in that. You're right on the front of the curve, so it must be pretty cool. Like that must be. I don't know I can't even pronounce half of what you're doing just in the title of your thesis. So. I'm just impressed is where I was trying to get to, but I do understand a little bit more about batteries, than most people would because of my role in my current job. But when I saw that, I had to have it was just a perfect joke setup, Lena. I couldn't leave it.
Yeah, so actually, so I'm working at BMW, yes, as a battery cell engineer, and so we have like a R&D center with 300 people working with everything around battery cells. We have like laboratories, and we have a prototype production and so on, and so I guess I feel like you, but every day, because everybody around me has like a PhD and is super smart, has like thousands of years of battery cell experience, and then there's like me, former athlete, trying to cope with the rest. It was like
So,
I think 4 years ago, so a bit like after I stopped my Olympic sailing campaign. I went back to university and like I was like, okay, I need to. So I studied mechanical engineering, and I thought before it was more like I studied, but I didn't really study. It was just like for at some point I need to earn money, so I need to study something.
yeah.
Then I came back to university and like I tried to find something that was interesting. And then I came across battery cells and did my thesis about the assembly of lithium metal with sulfidic solid electrolyte,
Yeah.
what you just said.
Yeah.
And and then like after university, I applied for jobs and now ended up being at BMW and
Wow.
working
Oh,
with battery cells now for
that is super
2
cool.
years. Yeah, 2.5 years almost. Yeah.
Lena,
And
in sailing, I'm a rigger. Sort of probably is my level is where I actually, where I do most of my work when I'm working in bigger teams. And we have a crash test room where we test rope and we test splicing and we test bits and pieces. Do you have a battery room where you can blow shit up?
yes.
Oh,
So I would say like half
love
of my
that.
job is
Imagine.
sitting in the office and doing PowerPoint and like what everybody else does when working. And the rest of the time we have like really I call it our playground where we can really like
This
do
is what we
anything. We
love.
have all the nice tools and
Oh,
just play around.
love it. Love it. Oh man, I mean, I love R&D. I mean, I just love things where you've just got no limits or boundaries, especially if you've got the setup to do it. And I just love explosions and things breaking. I think it's fun when you're doing it in a controlled manner. I should say, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's interesting because actually, the first thing, of course, is pretty much every America's Cup team and Sail GP will be listening to this and they'll be going, oh, hang on. We've got a sailor who knows all about this technology. This might be interesting. So you might get a few phone calls.
All they're saying, we've got an explosive room sitting down below.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I've been into some of this battery stuff where they do explode that, and I'm starting to understand the different chemical bonds and stuff. Some batteries are explosive, some aren't. But they also give you different characteristics. I've learned a bit in the last few weeks, just because of what I get exposed to. But it's does it that sort of thinking, the way you have to think to do your thesis and do mechanical engineering, does that translate to your sailing life in any way, do you reckon?
So to be honest, like when I finished school, like I was fully into sailing. Of course, like school was important, but more because like my parents say like you have to be good at school in order to go on the water 24/7.
Damn them.
And maybe same for every athlete in the teenage age. Um, and then like after school, I knew that I won't be into sailing my whole life because I need routines, I need structure, and as we all know, like sailing life is not routines and structure. It's I
Oh,
don't know. Every day
don't
is
we know
different,
that?
and
Don't we know that?
yeah.
It's
So I
interesting.
knew
It's
like
5 o'clock in the morning talking to you.
yeah, exactly. So I knew I needed this at some point, and also I want to build a family at some point. And I was like, okay, like working and sailing my whole life, maybe that's not the thing to go. But at the same point, I was like, okay, I want to be on the water the whole time. I want to be an athlete. I want to, like do as much as I can, to get the best to make like the best sail out of myself possible. And so there was like these two things, like on the one hand, like living the normal life, and on the other hand, living this like sailors athletes crazy life. And then I thought, okay, I need to do like a study, which is like, which brings me to also this like normal life, but it also allows me to sail as much as I can at the same time. So I also thought about becoming a doctor. So studying, what's the English word for that? Like medical science.
Medicine.
Medicine, yeah.
Yeah. But then I thought like, okay, this might be just too hard, no chance. I'm not smart enough. And so then I decided for mechanical engineering, but just like because the reason, okay, I was quite good in math and physics. So I thought like, okay, I might be able to handle that. Yeah. So that was like the background of doing this. So not much more behind.
Well, I guess the good thing, Lena, is that as we move more and more in towards electronically powered things, the battery is going to be more and more necessary for the boating industry. We look at it all the time. We still think it's very much in its infancy in a lot of things. From a production point of view, from my side of it, but I think it's still once you've got yourself established, I think there's a huge career in the marine industry growing in that side of things. I mean, I don't want to get technical because we're talking about sailing, but I think it's a really, really cool thing, for sailing in general if you've got this background.
Yeah, it's true.
It's interesting actually. If you look at sort of all the major sailing brands and you look at the CEOs of each of those brands, they're all engineers. If you go through and actually do that, which of course the sort of guy I am, BP, I do that, and anyone with some sort of engineering approach, it comes into it. But there's obviously the passion for sailing strong because whilst I was on your LinkedIn page, Lena, the your internship at Cargo Kite, so you were trying to work out how to make cargo ships go sailing, sort of thing. So you had a little dig in there as well. So obviously that was an interest for you as well.
Yeah, that was one of the best times. So before I started at BMW, so I knew that I got the contract with BMW like I think 5 months before I actually started.
Yeah.
So I had like 5 months of free time, where I was okay. So now I can do like anything crazy that comes to my mind. Then I think like 2 weeks later, I took a flight to India and did a yoga teacher training.
Oh, wow.
Also something that I wanted to do like for my whole life. So I was there like for 1 month doing yoga for, I don't know, 6 hours every day. And then I came back. I had one weekend, and then I started to work at Cargo Kite, which was a startup consisting at that time, I think, of 3 people. Yeah. 3 people who had the idea to transform the cargo industry. So their idea is to make a cargo ship which is completely 100% emission free and is powered by a kite. It's not like a normal kite that we know from kite sailing. It's more like a kite wind system, which is like oscillating all the time and therefore is like more stable and can generate the power into it's like going into a generator and then going into the electric motor. And it should work also with foils, with like a catamaran hull form and with foils. And at this time, they were, I think, the startup was like 1 year old, and their next step was to build their first prototype, which is like on a small scale, like 9 meters long or something, and like trying everything out with like the foil system and so the whole idea was with like set foils in the front and T foils in the back.
Wow.
So pretty similar also to the Nacra, for example. And with this, like at the beginning, they tried with like a kind of a normal kite system. So when I started working there, we were like, like working on the foils the whole day, making them look nice and shiny. And they just bought the boat prototype, and we were all preparing for the first test. So I think I was there like for 1 month preparing for the test, and then we drove to the Baltic Sea, and it was like March or something, so it was crazy cold. It was not the right time to go
Wow.
on the water.
Wow.
And then we were there in the it's called Schlei. It's more like a river and not
Yeah.
really the Baltic Sea. And it's a really countryside where you don't imagine like a startup working on fancy future stuff.
Yeah.
And and then we were like, working every day on the boat, trying to get the boat going to go on the water. We imagined that it would be super fast, but I think then we ended up 3 weeks working 24/7, really like uh, the stereotype of startup life. We only worked the whole time on the boat, trying to get it ready to get on the water. And then I think in my last week, it was also like 1 week later, I had to be at BMW for my first day.
Wow.
And in my last week, we managed to get the boat foiling on the water, which was pretty cool. Like, it was not really foiling; it was only like going a bit up and then crashing again. But
Wow.
still.
How cool is that, BP?
So that was fun.
Yeah, mate, I love it. I love it.
You imagine your work. You sound like, like, let's be honest, you sound like one of the technical team at Sail GP. Like, you've come in, you've got your engineering degree, and then you're out with doing boats and playing with foils and getting everything ready. Like, it's just like it would have been a dream for you. I think it would have been a ton of fun.
Yeah. So if anyone's listening, I'm always happy to exchange with Sail GP engineers.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about that. So we need to get into your sailing life. Like, what's your background into sailing? How did you start in sailing? Is it a family thing for you, or was something out of the blue?
Yeah. So actually, my parents met when sailing. So my mom was not like too much into sailing. She only like also grew up a bit in the sailing club, but her parents had like a really old boat. It was only for like cruising around, sleeping on it, having a beer and so on. So she didn't sail regattas. But my dad, he did an Olympic campaign in the Tornado. Like, he didn't manage to go to the Olympics, but at least he tried. And so he's really crazy about sailing. His whole life is about sailing. He recently bought like a huge boat, and his dream is to stop working as soon as he can to sail around the world with his boat.
Oh,
So
that sounds like
I
a
never
story
had
in
the
itself,
choice.
Lena. That sounds like a story in itself.
Yes, I think I never was asked whether I want to sail. It was just like there was no choice. So it was clear that I don't had to go sailing, but it was just like, I'm in a sailing family. And I have an older brother, Julian, and he's 2 years older, and like he started a bit earlier than me. And so actually, like, my first training was at my home lake. I grew up at a small lake south of Munich, where it's almost never more than 5 knots. So really like nice sailing, and it's more about having fun on the water, capsizing, chilling out with friends and so on.
Perfect.
And my second training, perfect. Especially for me, I was really afraid of everything when I was a child. And my second training was at Lake Garda. So Lake Garda, the complete opposite. Heavy breeze every day. And so that was like maybe my 5th time I sat on an Optimist was at Lake Garda. And it was a typical Lake Garda week, so with a really heavy aura in the afternoon and a quite light vento breeze in the morning. And every morning I was sitting there crying, telling my parents like my belly's hurting so much because I was so afraid to go out on the water. And then like by like by lunchtime, my parents convinced me that I'd at least like go out and try it. So I went out in the afternoon where like the breeze was much more than in the morning. And then after that, I was so scared again, so afraid of going out one more time, that the next morning it was exactly the same. So I was sitting there crying, telling my parents, "Oh, my belly's hurting so bad, I cannot go sailing." And then by lunch, they persuaded me so that I go out. And yeah, so that was my first training. So not
Wow.
really, not really happy, but I always loved like the light breeze and having fun with the others and so on.
Okay. So it was that kept you going. Obviously, you weren't sort of fired up, but the actual element of the social side was what kept you coming back as a kid, was it?
Yeah, yeah. And I think then like 1 or 2 years later after this training, we had a small regatta, like only with the friends from my sailing club, like an internal club regatta in the Optimist. And in one race, I ended up being in the first position, and I didn't know how I got there because I was not competitive at all. But for some reason, I was like first, and it was really cute because everybody was like helping me and telling me what to do and so on. Because I was just there, I was used to just driving behind others who were, because I was never in first position. And then like everybody helped me and told me what I should do and so on. That was like the moment where I was like, ah, okay. Because I was always like, yeah, of course, all the others can be first. Like, I'm not a competitive person. I'm not interested in like, I don't know, pushing my elbows out in order to be the first. And then I realized that you can be first without like pushing and being like separated from the others. It's also, yeah, you can be social and be first in the same at the same time.
Ah, beautiful. I mean, that's a great story. I'm sort of experiencing that with my daughter at the moment. She's just started playing Australian rules football, and she keeps saying sorry to the people she tackles. Um, but the reason I bring that point up is I'm just imagining you out in first, and you've had a lovely time and you're enjoying yourself, and you go up to your friends and you go, "It's your turn in first now. Go on, up you go."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
It's a good thing. It's a good thing that that the way you've experienced that.
yeah, it's a lovely, and the reason we're sort of emphasising a little bit is, a lot of people listen for trying to grow the sport. There's plenty of people who listen to the podcast and message us all the time about things they're doing, and the emphasis on fun is one thing that always seems to be successful. So anyone building a program or got kids trying to get into the sport, or if you're an adult, just make it fun is the secret. Different and fun. Do you remember when you switched from being made to go by mum and dad to when you were like, let's go, we got to go sailing, or was dad always rushing down to the club before you?
Think like in the Optimist, it was always more like I did it because I really liked the other people and I liked it to be outside on the water in the light breeze, but I was not so much enjoying the sailing itself. I don't know. I'm a team person. I never really enjoyed being alone on the boat. It always felt boring just being alone with myself. and and then I switched to the 420
Mm-hmm.
and I started sailing with Franzi Mäge. She could also be a nice guest for the podcast here.
Excellent.
she
Yeah.
used to be mod world champion and mod German champion a few times, and she's still like one of my best friends. So I was lucky to start sailing the 420 with like one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And then we had like so much fun together the whole time. It was so funny just not being alone on the boat anymore, and it was like really the moment where I really started enjoying sailing. And when I was home, I was always complaining like, I don't want to go to school, I don't want to stay home, I want to go sailing as soon as I
Yeah.
can.
And then they start saying, "What have we started?" And oh my God, now we've got to get it back into. You've got to be good at school because you've got to have. Yeah. I'm sorry, I missed your friend's name. Did she come from Optimists as well?
Yeah. Franzi is her name, Franzi Mäge. And she
Yeah,
also said Optimist and also same like me. I think like she was not really successful in Optimist. We both had like older brothers who were like super good sailors and successful and so on. And we were both like, yeah, okay, we enjoy like the social thing around it, but not really sailing. And then when we started sailing together, we just had like so much fun. And we were also like not so successful in the beginning. It was always like our older brothers who were like, going to the world championships and being super successful and so on. And we were like, the nice little sisters always following and trying to have fun. And but for some reason our dads, they're really cute. They believed a lot that we can also perform really well, and
Right.
we didn't really believe in us. So we had fun. We were happy with where we were, but we didn't believe that we could also be like at the top. And they said, no, you can do this. Like they always believed it and always said that to us. And there was like one winter where they decided, like the two dads together, that we need a new boat. They said when we get a new boat, then we will finally be on the top. That was also really funny because like it was a Ziegelmeier boat, so the boat builder from Hamburg,
Yeah,
which is also like famous for 70s. And and they gave us like they showed us like what kind of you could like choose for some options for the 420, not much, but some. And you could also choose for a color. And we saw that we could choose for a pink boat.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I remember seeing many of them when I was
And
growing up.
pink, perfect. Two girls, we're happy with pink.
yeah.
And it was so funny because it was the first time when they built a pink boat, and the boat builders had so much fun building this pink boat. They like called our dads and saying like, okay, what else can we do pink? Is it nice like this? We are trying around with the colors, so yeah, everybody was having fun like building this pink boat.
I love it.
And then we finally got the boat and sailed our first regatta, and then actually like didn't perform at all. So it was like the same like before. We were not that good, and and I don't know what our dads thought. They thought like, okay, now we spent so much money, and now same, not good. But then I think it was like 2 weeks later, we had the German championships. It was funny. It was the German championship, but it took place in the Netherlands in Medemblik, so the IJsselmeer. And we went there with my dad, and we went there with the car. And he said that when we win a race, he will make pancakes for us, because like pancakes was our favorite dish.
Mate,
And
that would have changed your life.
exactly. And then on the first day, we were in first position actually, and we're already like looking forward to having pancakes. It was like the last reach to the finish line.
It
And
just
then actually, like,
became an overriding factor, didn't it?
yeah. And then the trapeze broke, so Francie fell in the water. Trapeze broke. We managed not to capsize, but not that much breeze. But yes, I think 1 or 2 boats passed us, so no first place to us. So we went home.
You would have been distraught.
So we went home and like begging to say, okay, please, Dad, make us pancakes. We almost went first. He was like, no, you have to be first, and then you get pancakes. And then
No
the next day,
no special dispensation or nothing.
Yeah. And then the next day, so it was the thing. It was really like, I don't know what it was. So maybe we learned a lot the years before, or it was a new boat, or it was like the motivation to get pancakes. I don't know.
I think definitely
But
pancakes.
we were pretty fast. So again, we were in first position in one of the races. And then was also like the last upwind. It was the last. I still have it in my head. It's almost 15 years ago, I think. It was the last tack to the upwind mark, and then for some reason, like I jumped on the other side and didn't manage to grab the what's the name? Like where I put like the straps for the feet, foot straps, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, didn't manage to find them with my feet, and just fell out of the boat like as the helmsman. Super stupid. Never happened to me before and after, but in this moment. And then again in the evening, same thing. No pancakes.
The pressure of pancakes. It's amazing.
The pressure of pancakes. I love it, Jay. I like what you've got there. This could be a new merch range.
Not only is it the pressure of pancakes, it was the power of the pink up until the pressure of the pancakes took it out. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, so I think the last day, I don't know what it was. We actually managed then to didn't do so many stupid things, or whatever. But then, we managed, I think, to do, I don't remember, but like 2 or 3 first places on that day.
Uh-oh.
So then in the
Uh-oh.
evening, like my dad, did like so many pancakes.
A
It was so
mountain,
much.
a mountain of pancakes, and then the next day you couldn't. The next day you couldn't move.
You can sort of imagine.
I'm all over. I've just got this. It's almost a cartoon, Jay.
He'd been so excited. He would have been so excited through the whole, regatta, just going, "Oh, this is fantastic!" And then when he actually got to make the pancakes, he would be just so proud. So I think that's a beautiful story.
It's a good point, Jay. I'm sure that every race he was getting excited, and he would have been as disappointed as you, being a father. I know, when your kids have a success, it is you living that. And I'm sure he would have been looking forward. And when he did finally get to make those pancakes, it would have been a great moment for him too.
Yeah. And I think also it was
Do you
good that he said, because
do you still get pancakes when you win a? Do you still get pancakes when you win a race, Lena?
No, it's really sad. I think he doesn't feel responsible anymore, for my success. Maybe I should ask him or something.
Yeah.
Next time.
Love it.
Yeah, but I think that was like. I think it was like 4 or 5 days of regatta. Like then was the last day. We were actually like in first position because we sailed good the whole time. Just like before, like this pre-last day, we didn't manage to do any good place. That was like the last day, and it was like really minor, but we managed to stay in front, and then like became German champions. So, like also in front of the guys, and not only in the girls division, also in front of the boys.
Yeah.
It was like the pancakes that gave us like the power.
Yeah.
So that was super nice.
We're getting a lot of merch ideas here. This is good. Okay, so he said, just quickly before you change the subject, you were given pancakes for a race win. Was there any incentive there for a regatta win? Because or was he sort of semi-surprised, a little bit like yourself?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Did he have some incentives for winning the regatta? So he gave you an incentive to win a race, and he gave you pancakes. Did he say to you at the start, if you win a regatta, we'll buy you a car, or something silly like that?
Would have been nice. I think that was the first and last time that really I got something for something good. So I remember that like other kids in school, they got like money for good grades or something that.
Yeah. No, I'm not into that.
Me, never ever.
No,
I think that was like the only time.
I feel like there's a missed opportunity here, BP. Like I can see, like, because you're exactly right. Like you picked up onto it, the pancakes for the race win, but nothing for winning the national championships, right? So I would be going back to my dad, and you can still do this, Lena, and just bring it up as a discussion topic. Did you never believe that we'd win the nationals? Did you never even think about it? Like, you can actually hit him up.
So
and
actually, I didn't tell this, but like after the last day when we came back to shore, we were German champions, but we were not quite sure yet because we also like the protest time limit was not over and so on. But my dad already made pancakes because he was like, "Yeah, you got it, you got it."
I love it.
And it was also funny that that at the prize giving ceremony they said like before no but like before everything started, before the real prize giving started, they said like we have like a special prize for like some special people, and we're like, okay, what's coming now? And they had 2 towels, and said for people who fall in the water that often, they need like some extra pair of towels.
Well, both of you went in on your boat at separate occasions, so that was pretty much spot on. You both needed some towels just for that. But that's a sign of respect from the competition. And did that change the way you wanted to sail? Like winning those championships, like you were having fun, everything was fun, but now suddenly, hey, hang on, we're quick. Did that change your process, or everything continued on as it was?
So like this was the start of I think like the most successful season I ever had in sailing.
Yeah.
So like these German championships were like in autumn, and then the next year, I don't know, we were sailing like so free because we knew like before we were like, okay, we have fun in sailing and so on. So it all started with the fun, but we were not that competitive. And also like, yeah, we often did like stupid things like falling in the water, things like that. And like when we won and we were not confident. We were like, okay, yeah, like winning is for others and it's not for us. And when we won the German championships, we were like, yeah, confident that we also, yeah, belong to being in the front. Then we had like a super great season with, I think we were sixth at Kiel Week. Then we had like this national division for who can go to the Europeans and to the World Championships. And I think we were the best girls team in this division, finished fifth or something, in heavy breeze. And then decided to go to the Junior European Championship in Lake Garda. So that was also super nice because that was where it all started for the both of us, where we learned sailing. And they actually became like second for the girls, so vice European champions. And that was like it was the greatest season because there was no pressure. Nobody was putting pressure on us. We still had the same fun like before. And we just had like the confidence that we could also compete in the front but not losing the fun of it. And that's, that was the magic. I think this is so hard to be like in this flow, right?
Yeah.
Of
It's
having fun and still.
We talk about this quite a lot. And probably from back moving towards more the commentary side of things, one of the things that does come up quite a lot is burnout, and a lot of people, do take time off because they put so much effort into it, and the emphasis is win, win, win. Like bring back that fun, bring back that, especially at a young age. I think we forget that a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because like that was actually happening afterwards. So we came back from the Europeans and we had like this season could not have been any better. Of course, we could have like won this European Championship, but it was like just one girl from Great Britain who was much better. But it was like for us, it was the best we could have achieved. And then afterwards, like things got terrible. It was my last year of school. And for some reason, like nobody else put pressure on me, but I put pressure on me to be a good sailor and doing even better than this season, which was like super hard to do. Then I wanted to be like super good in school, have like to have a good degree to be able to study anything I want. Then I also like wanted to like live the social life like the other teenagers, and there was just like too much. So that year was pretty horrible. So I had like some problems with my stomach, so I was throwing up after almost everything I ate. I lost 10 kilos in almost 1 year, and I was super thin at this time. So after that, I was ill the whole time because I was so thin. I lost a lot of hair. I lost like almost half of my hair. So it was like, I don't know if it was a burnout or something. I mean, it's quite a long time ago. It was not such a topic by then, but it was something close to that. That was like what happened to me and to Franzi, so to my crew. She started to get like really, really bad pain in her knees. So she always did sailing, and we didn't have like this good athletic training here in Munich. And then if you only do crewing, it's super bad for the knees, and you don't do proper sports in the fitness studio and so on. So she got problems with her knees, and then like this is what happened afterwards. Like really the worst season ever. We didn't perform. I got sick at the World Championships. Our mast broke at the World Championships. It was like just horrible, completely horrible. So
the highs and lows.
Every high brings a low, probably.
Yeah, the highs and lows. Yeah, it's the joy of sailing, isn't it? Like it's a sport that you never quite master, and that's what probably I think is the most appealing thing about our sport is that sometimes you're a hero, sometimes you're not, and you're always learning. From a horrible season like that. There's a lot of lessons that come from it, and then you get to use that later on in life. So, obviously you went on with the 470, and I do want to ask, did campaign in the 470. When it changed to mixed 470 team, did that affect you, or had you moved on before the change?
Mm. So basically, like after this like horrible season, Franzi and me, we changed to the 470. Um, but we had like a bumpy start, or we had like a really bad boat. Then we both had like really bad health issues, and this got like worse and worse over the next 1 or 2 years. Franzi also got like really, I don't know the English word for that, but like really bad problems with her back that normally only old people get. And
Oh, yeah, it's
well,
tough. It's hard to deal with, but we're getting there.
I want to talk to.
are you laughing?
I want to talk to
I
Francie
didn't say
because
you're old.
she's lived my life. She's got rooted knees and a rooted back. I know exactly how she feels. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Um, yeah. And then like so Franzi actually decided that she stops because she realized like her body is not ready for that, is not ready for being an athlete. And so I stopped. I said like, yeah, I couldn't imagine sailing with anyone else because you might know that like with the perfect crew, you don't have to talk.
Yeah,
Everything works by itself. You just make the other person, you make each other a better sailor. Yeah, it was really, really great with her. And then but I said to all the coaches, I'm gonna focus on my study now. But if you know someone, if someone's searching for someone, oops, I'm losing my AirPod. um, I would be happy to get back on the boat, either as a crew or as a helmsman. I was always helmsman, but I would be also happy to change the crew, because I'm tall enough and so on. It's fine. And I think for like half a year or so, something like that, I didn't sail. Nobody reached out to me, and then finally, a coach reached out to me and said, "Hey, I have someone. You would have to change the crew, but I think it would fit quite well." So I started sailing with Tesi. She's now in the mixed for 70, but we started sailing together. And so I changed to being a crew, which was super hard,
yeah.
but also super fun.
Mm.
And then we sailed together for I think 5 years
Wow.
until 2018, 4 or 5 years, something like that. Yeah. 2019. Yeah. And then I got out of the 470 for 1 more year, the NACRA 17. So I got out of the 470 1 year before I changed to mixed, but I think I would have loved it with the mixed because I really enjoy sailing with men, sailing with my male friends and so on. So yeah, I think it makes so what I heard so there's still a lot of friends sailing the mixed right now from my time. And what I heard from them is that the class got way more friendly because
We
I feel
often
like in
say
the
that.
male class, it was like super competitive and everybody's like so secretive about
Yeah.
everything. Ah, it was so bad. And the girls, it was
The
just like,
dynamics,
I
the
don't know.
dynamics change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the dynamics are so much more friendly, and this is what I
Yeah.
never liked about the 470. It was not nice. It was not nice to sail it. It was it's I loved the boat, but it was just like it was not fun onshore. And I think this changed a lot now. I think it's like much more fun now. Yeah.
It's noticeable, like when you do go from all male, there's certain issues, all female, there's certain issues, but when you do mix it up, it makes it better. It definitely does make it better. So it's a point well made. I'm intrigued though from your dad's perspective, obviously campaigning in the Olympics for a Tornado, and he's got his daughter campaigning in the 470. He must have been so proud. And then you went to a catamaran, the Nacra. He must have just about wet himself. He would have been pancake mad at that stage, I reckon.
I'm wondering when was the last time you made pancakes? I don't remember. I think it's too long ago.
Oh, no. He will after this episode. I guarantee you'll come over one day and there'll be pancakes lined up everywhere. I can sense it.
Yeah, no, but he's super proud. Yeah, he's super, super proud.
Yeah, of course. Do you remember one thing that we sort of chatted about over the years is obviously the commentary stuff, and like you were the voice of many events in Germany, and one of the most amazing events in Germany is something called Kiel Week. Everyone knows Kiel Week. I remember as a kid hearing about Kieler Woche, and you get to be the voice, and do all the commentary. How did all that come about? Was that a goal, or that just somebody came up to you and said, do you think you could have a go?
No. So I started doing the commentary in the German Sailing League, and it was actually quite funny. So we had a German Sailing League event something like 10 years ago at my home club, and I was working there as a shuttle driver, so just driving the people to their boats, because there were only 6 boats for the 18 teams. So I was like shuttling around, and then I think like on the last day or something, they wanted to do like, it was like starting of broadcasting the Sailing National League online, and somebody came to me and to another guy and said like, yeah, we need someone talking and doing the commentary at the like this broadcast, and it was like early in the morning, the evening before, we had like a beer festival in the area, so we were all a bit like
I'll do
tired
that.
and a bit hangover and so on. And I mean, like my plan was to sitting on a motorboat the whole day, so not to perform. And I was so tired and like hangover, and I was like, yeah, okay. I was like
Whatever.
too I don't know. I didn't have like I guess like the power to really think about it and say like no. Yeah, so that was like when it started. It was the first time I did it, and I got quite good feedback for doing that. It was kind of fun. I really like the part of sitting there and just analyzing on what's happening,
Yep.
and having like the different sources of like seeing the tracking and looking out on the water and looking around on shore. How's everybody like behaving? Do people like look confident or not? So I really liked to comment on that, and this was like the start of it. And then like a few years later, there are not many people doing the commentary job in Germany, and then some years later someone asked me for the Kiel Week, and I was completely hooked. It was so much fun because that was also like really professional broadcasting. Also the Sailing National League was super professional, but Kiel Week was something different. Also so nice to talk about different boats and so on. And they asked me, I think 2 more times, but unfortunately, like now with the job and also with the studying and my own sailing, I could only make it 1 time. But it was a lot of fun.
It's very similar to bar karate. How bar karate came about, having a few beers and then ending up doing the show. Kind of very similar.
Yeah. It's true. It is true.
All hungover.
That's what
Oh
we
well,
call
let's just talk
networking,
about
right?
sailing for an hour and record it and see what happens.
It's interesting, Lena, with when you do commentate. If you just put on a coach's mindset, like if you look at things from like a coach's perspective, like coaches are great commentators because they see everything. That's the job of a coach. And so you provide that analytics and talk about what you're seeing. And then, for the audience, it becomes quite good. So maybe, you've got a future as a coach as well.
So I used to coach an optimist for quite a long time, and I really love that. So I love to work with children. I'm also working as a skiing coach for children. Just so much fun. But so I think I will always coach at some point in my free time. But not like as a complete full-time job. But actually I thought like before like I thought like, okay, what will you ask me, or what can I tell you about sailing? I'm not so successful, not so successful like the other guests you normally have.
Yeah.
Not much to say about that. But I just thought about it. I really need to get on the coach boat again because I truly enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling when you see that you can help someone sailing better. It's the best feeling. Yeah.
One of my favourite coaching moments when I did some young kid stuff, I remember there were these 2 brothers, and they were in a boat called a Sabo, which is just slightly bigger than an Opti, basically, but young kids. And the older brother was so determined and competitive, and he really, really wanted it. And so we were doing lots of quite, I was trying to advance him quite a way, and so we were going through some sort of important stuff, and then I come back to try and do the same with his younger brother, right? And he's looking at me going, I don't understand what you're saying. And then I came back the second time and I said, well, just try this and try this. And then I come back and he's lying in the boat and he's chasing butterflies and he was having a great time. And I said, are you having a good time? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, you keep doing what you're doing because you'll be good one day, just like that. And so, it was my favourite moment. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to spoil this kid's fun. You just let him have fun. That's all that matters. And so it was just hilarious watching the two. One brother was the exact opposite of the other, but they were going to get to the same spot, I think. So it's a great adventure for you, being able to talk about sailing, being able to do sailing. And now, of course, the important thing, and BP's ready for this question, I'm sure he's waiting for me to come up with it. We, of course, overlap in the world of 505 sailing. How's the enjoyment of sailing 505s?
It's the best boat in the world.
All right. I'm just gonna get out of my studio and I'm gonna go and have a coffee. You guys chat amongst yourselves for a while. I'll be back in about a year.
You don't like 505?
No,
Have you ever tried it?
No, Lena, it's an ongoing joke. Whenever an opportunity arises to mention 505s on the show, it's Jordan gives it a crack, and it's just non-stop, and it's been going on for 6 years. It's just an ongoing joke. No, absolutely not. I love every boat. It's just a bit of a joke.
Maybe you should ask Quirky, like the 505 class president, to give you a little bit of money, like for the product placement.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, if we could get money for product placement on a 505, we'd almost have a 505.
Yeah. Well, they do get a lot of love. And I often precursor, or often before our statement, I said, if I ever mentioned 505s on the show, and then boom, and it goes on from there. So, but you do love sailing the boat. Tell me about your feeling, because I agree. Like everyone. Obviously, we're all biased, but coming from the 420 and all that stuff, and then getting into a 505, what did you love?
So actually, I went into the 505 because my dad was selling the 505. It was just like it's a bit hard to say because it's not the only reason, but it was like a cheap option to go on the water, right? When you're studying and. When your dad takes you to sailing, that's the only way to do it. Like when you have no money at all. So that was like the first thing I really got on the 505. Actually, the first time I was on the 505, I was 13 years old. So I was an opti kid, and my dad he had like a regatta in Kiel, and he had no helmsman, and he said to me, "Yeah, you sail the 505 with me," and I was like.
Wow.
I'm an optic kid, so I don't know if I can do that. But he said, yeah, you can do this. And it was good because it was not so much breeze. It was still like, I don't know, like 10 to 12 knots or something. And I was not able to hold the main sheet. No chance. Like with my, I don't know, like 40 kilos or something. So I really did. My dad was doing everything on the boat. And he said, you only hold the rudder and I do the rest.
Wow.
So that was like my first 505 experience. And he said we were not too bad. I don't remember actually. I just remember that I was so afraid because the boat was so fast. So it was like my first time sailing 505, and and then I always like when I could. It was not only the cheap thing. It was first of all like spending time with my dad. It was always like my dad was working a lot. And like during the week, I didn't see him, and sailing 505 was always like our thing, like getting together on the water and so on. So only for fun or sailing just a small regatta and so on. And then it was like after I finished Olympic sailing, we sailed the 505 Worlds in Australia, which was pretty great because like I think he never made a overseas world championship. Me neither. So that was like. Yeah, this like only until now this only time where we like really packed the boats into a container and
Do you remember
the overseas world championships and it was together. It was super nice.
Where were they, guys? Where were they?
Fremantle.
Oh, right. Okay.
Lovely.
2018 or 19, like around New Year's Eve.
A bit of wind.
And that was so much fun. Like that's It's so great there. I loved it. I think it's like after Lake Garda, it's maybe one of the best places to sail. We're so
Absolutely.
nice.
Absolutely, yeah. The bottom of Australia is just wonderful. So Western Australia is amazing. Adelaide, where BP, Bicey and I all sort of met, is it just magnificent sailing conditions. Like it's a fantasy, like Garda. It's exactly right, and you would have had an absolute ball. And I'm glad you got to do it. And obviously, Sail GP is going to set up there in January. January I think this year. So next year. So they're founded as well. So. Pretty cool. I do have to ask, I've got to be very delicate about this because, you mentioned your mum and dad met at sailing. Your partner, Felix and JP, they're the future of 505 sailing, if you ask me. They're amazing at the moment. Those guys are sailing so well. Where did you meet Felix?
What do you guess? Sailing 505.
Optimus training camp.
It's funny when friends ask us that are not like from the sailing scene, and they ask like, since when do you know each other? And then we both say like, we don't know. Maybe Optimist, maybe for 20, we don't know. We just know each other for ages. But we were in 2019. We both sailed the German championships in Travemünde, so at the Baltic Sea in Germany. He was sailing with Jan Philipp, and I was sailing with my dad again. And I needed like someone to took me back home to Munich, and he had a spot in his car, and then we were sitting for 8 hours in the car.
Okay, let's leave it there.
No, you had the same thought I did, BP. There was somebody sitting in that seat that got shoved out real quick. You go in that car.
It was so funny because like at some point like we changed, and I was driving and he was at the other seat, and I was driving fast. It was a BMW, by the way, and I was driving fast because like I wanted to impress him that I'm like a girl that can drive fast, not only on the water but also in the car.
Wanted to impress him.
But I was like tired. I didn't feel like driving fast, but I was only driving fast like to impress him, kind of.
Oh.
And
Just a
afterwards
true
I said it was
story
only
of
like
love.
Yeah.
Two friends and a BMW, we'll call this movie.
I love it. Yeah,
and the autobahn.
It brings people together. But and best of luck to Felix going ahead, because particularly those guys, as I said, JP and Felix just look awesome at the moment. I do want to mention, whilst we talk 5.0s, and I know it's not meant to be a 5.0 chat, but did you see AJ's result? Like I assume you and AJ know each other reasonably well. So AJ Conrad's in the US, winning overall against everyone. That was pretty amazing, wasn't it? That was very cool.
Yeah. I saw that. That's amazing. Like, she's a great sailor.
Yep.
I competed against her. I think she was also. I don't remember when was the last time we competed against each other, but yeah, she's a great sailor. And when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, in front of Howie and Mike Holt and Mike Martin, it's super hard to sail in front of them. They're so good. Yeah, it's a really, really good job.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah. And so what about for the future? Obviously, BMW is going to be part of your life, like are you sailing with any goals now, or is it just enjoyment for you?
So the last 2 years, I didn't sail much because like I did inside BMW, I did like something like a young leadership program, which so the last 2 years were like really focused all around work. So I was for 3 months working in the US at the US plant where we built like all the X3, X5, X7, and so on. That was last summer, so I missed last year. I missed the Worlds in the 505, and then the year before I was for 3 months in China, working in the Beijing R&D center. So I missed the Worlds in San Francisco. So the last 2 years were not much sailing. I was also like, I didn't have like a fixed partner the last 2 years, sailing partner. Because like nobody could plan with me with like working all the time. And right now I have a new partner, but we both like he needs to fix some things in the private life. And so we are not getting too often on the water right now, unfortunately. But we will sail the European Championship this autumn in Spain. And yeah, we don't sail as much as I hoped to make like a real goal for this regatta. But yeah, I will just try to have fun and sail as good as I can. So yeah, yeah. And I hope I will get more on the water next year. It's like the last 2 years were all around work, which was fine, I guess. At some point in life, you also have to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I'm really looking forward to say more in the future, and I'm really hyped to do more 505. And yeah, so Felix is right now on his way to Warnemünde, to sail the third Euro Cup of the season, and yeah, I'm really thrilled what he will tell about it. And yeah, they are so good right now, Felix and Jan Philipp. It's amazing to see them. And they're saying this is quite interesting. Like they're sitting on a boat together now for 12 years. So they started sailing together in the 420, then 470, and then 505. And they are saying that they're still improving day by day, every day.
Yeah.
Like also in the teamwork and so on. Of course, we are all improving every day when we are sailing, but also like in this team of a 12-year partnership.
Yeah.
With every year, I don't know how many days on the water. It's super nice to also see this from the outside, how they are like, flowing. Super great.
It is very cool.
Without blowing roses everywhere and being sort of all lovey-dovey, the 505 fleet does seem to do that. We do see a lot of crews stay together for a long time. We only experienced that this year, obviously, with Sandy Higgins winning the Worlds with his long-time crew. And that is a good thing. That's a good thing of the fleet, you know, like you and I'm actually speaking the truth here, Jay.
Well, the only problem with the 5.0 is the crews don't last as long as the skippers. So there is a changeover, you know, like that does happen eventually. The knees and the backs go, and so the skippers can go forever, but the crews can't. They top out. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's very, very cool. It's a great story. I mean, I think obviously from your perspective, you know, like you've had a great story and you're still in love and in touch with sailing, which makes us really happy. And then obviously Sail GP and the America's Cup teams will be sitting there listening to this, just going, young Lena might be a good fit for our team. Yeah, so just be warned, it could happen. But I think from the perspective of that, we'll leave that hanging for everyone, and we might call it for tonight because it's well past your bedtime, I suspect. So it's been a ton of fun catching up, Lena, and I really look forward to catching up again as we do. And so happy to have had you on our show. It's been really cool.
Yeah, lovely chat.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It's really cool that you do the sailing podcast. It's nice that you bring sailing to more people.
I say this quite regularly to our guests, having never met you before. If some strange Aussie comes up to you and says "G'day," it you know, because I'm sort of around the place every now and again, but don't be afraid.
All right, cool. Good chat. We're friends, so a little bit biased. It wasn't supposed to be a 505 hijack at all, but
yeah, right, as if.
Both her and her partner Felix, just two fantastic people to hang out with. I really enjoy their company, and I knew Lena. You know, she's really, really talented, but in many ways, you know, and a great conversationalist. You could see how she led the conversation so much, and so very much appreciative. What I did like is, you know, that whole element where it's not just about, we're not just about a pro, but there's someone that's top level competitor and then combining work with it, you know. And I thought, you know, that was an interesting story for people. And so, yeah, it's great fun to have her on the show. I'm guessing you enjoyed it, my friend.
Oh, absolutely. Right up until the 505 bit, but no. I'm only joking. Look, out there, people. I love the 50. Yeah. But no, it was it's always good. I was just sort of thinking to myself then how this show seems to attract cool people, and no, so far so good.
Yeah,
300 and whatever episodes we're in, all going well.
One of the most rewarding things about this show for us, I think, is that if we don't know something, like you'd never met Lena before, but
No,
now
never, no.
you know that if you see her somewhere, you're going to be able to have a shared conversation.
Well, that's why I say to her and to many other people who I've interviewed on the show, and sometimes I'm at a place and I look at this person and I go, I'm pretty sure she was on one of our shows, or he was on one of our shows. And I'm too scared to go up to them and say, are you so-and-so?
Yeah, that's true. We've done so many now. Yeah, that is true. Absolutely true.
And the worst part is when a guest comes up and says hello to you and you go, who's this person? You know, but no, it's a huge thing. But no, she's cool, and I wish her all the best and as many pancakes as she can get.
Wonder if you could get combine some erratics into your pancake, BP. You know, like a Radix Ultra Breakfast and pancakes. I don't know how it works, but it was a good story about the pancakes. But
I think they should actually make Radix pancakes.
Yeah. But if you are looking to kickstart your day, the Ultra Breakfast is specially formulated for that, with plenty of blends of nutrients, minerals, proteins, and energy. Radix Ultra Breakfast are naturally delicious and deliciously natural, just like her pancakes would have been. Fantastic.
And hot off the press. I'm just going to hold you there in your absolute perfect advertisement. Hot off the press is a new recovery shake with collagen coming out.
Whoa! Save our skin from sagging away, BP. That's a good one.
Well, it's the chase of the eternal youth, isn't it?
It is, buddy. It is. It's true. And if you are chasing that, or just the healthy breakfast, then jump on Radix Nutrition. Use Barkarati as your discount code and get a discount on us. But yeah, cool. Other events. Transpac start is underway, BP. So as we know,
love it.
Yeah, absolutely. They do multiple starts. So smaller boats and with the goal of everyone sort of turning up at the time. So racing from mainland USA, from California, all the way across to Hawaii. It's a dream race because you've got the trade winds all the way there. And, who wouldn't want to do this event?
It's a race, as I was just saying off air, it's a race. This particular race course, I should say, is famed. It's become more and more of an attraction for myself. The conditions, a bit tough for the first day or so. Can be either light or sort of upwindish as they get away from the coast, but then it settles into some pretty heavenly downwind runs with a few little burps along the way with some squally things, but it's generally a great race, and so I love this format. Yeah.
And perfect for the little Far X too, mate. She would smoke across to Hawaii, I reckon.
Yeah, well, stand by. Pack Cup next year, happening.
Double-handed. I love it.
Double-handed, yes. So big goal now. So it's all starting. Jacques Perec, my San Francisco owner, is committed to the project, and it's going to be Far X2 in the Pack Cup. But the Transpac is another version of that. It's a fully crewed, bigger boat. Yeah, bigger boat version. Probably the sort of the upper echelon of boats that can do this race, and so we'll keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, well, so the first two starts are away. So that's July 1, the smaller divisions, and July 3 was the second sort of mid divisions, and the bigger boats will go July 5. So basically, as this show gets published and goes to air, who the hell is trying to buzz me at 6 a.m? Anyway, so that's underway. It's time to get going. Another one is, got a nice little email from Robert Lott. I'm going to have to find old Robert Lott. This is the sort of perfect email that we want. We're not doing the email stuff at the moment, but where they reach out and ask to promote upcoming events. And so Robert's written out and he's done exactly that. He's all over it. So thanks, guys, for providing sailing entertainment during a Victorian winter. The Vic season kicks off with the Icebreaker Regatta at Bendigo Yacht Club, 27-28 September, a great event to start the season. Suitable for all sailors, no matter the skills, and a great way to get back into sailing. If you haven't sailed in a long time, this is the perfect event to get back into it. camping on site, makes it a really family-friendly event. Other events that they've got going on, Stawell Yacht Club run Melbourne Cup Day Regatta early in November. No dates yet, but obviously around Melbourne Cup time. Curran Sailing Club is a regatta on the 29th and 30th of November. Most of the Vic Clubs start up early again in October. So if you're listening to the podcast and want to get involved, please contact your local club. Secondhand boats are cheap. Clubs normally have boats you can borrow. And the Mosquito Association has a boat free to use. For anyone interested in coming to titles and regattas, look on the Facebook page or Google the Racing Cat. It's not the fastest boat in the fleet, but it will get involved in a fantastic class thanks to the members. Their national title is going to be in Adelaide, 3rd to 9 January with the Taipans. Big sponsor of the event will be Element Sales and continues on from there. So there you go. Too easy. So there you go. He then goes into trying to get some sponsorship for the event, but we won't talk about that. But what Robert has done there is talked about all the different events, promoted them, and asked her to do that. And that is the whole purpose of this little segment, to promote events coming up. And I tried to read that really clearly. It didn't go as perfect, but yeah. Do you know, I had some correspondence last night, BP. Guess who from?
Who?
AM.
Oh, how's he going?
He's going good. He's riding around Ireland on his bike at the moment before heading to Lake Garda for the Taser Worlds 14 to 21 July.
Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, the Tasers, they love putting their world champs on in beautiful spots. So we might reach out to Alistair Murray, former chairman of Ronstan, and give him a bit of coverage. We'll reach in, and the Tasers, great fleet, good bunch of people, speaking a lot of fun, good fun group. Speaking of riding around Ireland, BP, the Round Island race kicks off. What's that, this weekend or next weekend?
It's a double-handed and solo rendition of the event. It's obviously starts Saturday morning England time. I do have a couple of X2s participating in that, talking about X2s.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool little race. It's weather's looking the usual for the Solent. It's looking like 20-something knots as they head out, but it's if they can get out through the Needles and get around the corner, it'll be a fun blast down the back and up a bit of a reach home. That's a good one to if you're in the area or if you're interested in short-handed and double-handed sailing. Yep, give it a listen,
mate. That's a good one. Good luck to your competitors. Like to see your boat shine, buddy.
It's actually got quite a big fleet. I'm quite impressed. So yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. The other one that kicks off as of this weekend as we go to air is the Moth Worlds. We have to mention it. So the Europeans.
Well, after the other week with old mate Matthias Coots backing up after a win, and his general discussion about he doesn't suffer from pressure. Well, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, well, 145 athletes, so 23 countries are competing. That is pretty full bore at the Worlds. You got, like, if you go through the list, like some of the top names, like you got Slingsby, you got you got Goody, Diego Botín. Wow, he's selling so good. Olympic gold medalist. Then we've got Giles Scott, Olympic gold medalist. Dylan Fletcher, Olympic gold medalist.
Right, okay.
Yeah. You've got.
Is there any medalists there?
Is there too many? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Is there too many? I mean, could you imagine the size of the safe at the yard?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? The Fantella brothers are sailing. Sebastian Schneider, our favourite bloke in the whole world, from Switzerland. There's Matthias. There's Jacob Pye from New Zealand, who was one of his training partners. So there's plenty. There's a heap of people sailing. There's a bunch of coaches. Pretty much all of Sail GP is competing in many ways. So you do have to recognise what a great event this is. So I just wanted to highlight that it kicks off. So if you're interested in watching it, it is on. Good luck to everyone competing in that event. Moving on, Jack Lloyd, Listener of the Week, BP. We do also have to announce our winner of the Vycobi monthly award, $200 voucher from Vicobi. That is due this month, right now.
Is it? Okay.
So I'll throw those names at you. But we've got a few emails that we do want to quickly touch on for this week. One is our good friend Schaefer. He wants to give us some stuff. You across that, buddy?
More than you think, my friend.
Yeah, I know. I knew you would be. So do you want me to read it out, or you're going? You want to?
No,
do it?
you read it out. You read it out. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes with this one.
Yep. So there's a whole bunch of correspondence. So I'll just throw the basics out. So when it comes to do the safety episode, I'm willing to do a giveaway on the new Regatta Crisis Management Handbook. I will send you 10 of them on my dime. Do a contest or be creative. So always remember, safety is second, procedures are first, and Jody is bald and uses vitamins for the bowel spit to function properly.
I think that was one of his late night rants, I can say safely. But let me sort of expand on this a little bit. John Schaefer, the founder of Ministry of Sailing in the States, has just put a huge amount of work into this. And look, I absolutely laud the amount of work he's done here. And obviously with the original bit of work he did with the diver overboard work, which is gaining more and more strength around the world. But this crisis management project, it's huge. It's something that I'm putting a lot of effort into, and I'm keen to look into it as much as possible. So it's exciting.
Yeah. We love it. So good on you. We got an email from Thomas Holmes, which is it's pretty full bore. I do want to read it and have a quick discussion about it. Look, hey fellas, long time listener here. Just writing as the Admiral's Cup grows ever so close and the froth is starting to froth. Keep beers to a minimum, Bicey. You've got a job to do. As a young wannabe pro sailor,
you must know Bicey.
As a young wannabe pro sailor, the Admiral's Cup is flat out cool. Pinnacle of owner driving racing with all the top talent in the world on all the best yachts in the world. As Bicey said in a recent episode, the 40s are effing cool, particularly Callisto, Jolt 6 and Bow Ideal, which leads me to why I'm writing. We, the listeners, would love, borderline demand, some Admiral's Cup episodes with these three teams, in particular how Callisto have modified an ancient 2009 GP42 into an absolute offshore weapon. Would love to hear from someone on the boat, the likes of Justin Ferris, etc., on how that boat came to intuition and all the different mods that have been done to it. It's a great idea. This is a great discussion. Truly a marvel how that boat has gone from it.
If we do just hold it there, and a quick note to Thomas, that is on the cards, and we are working on that. I think over the next few weeks we're going to have a very, very big focus on the Admiral's Cup, but we do have a couple of people lined up to talk about the 40, so we're working on it.
Well, he's really into the whole transition, how it's gone, with the coach reef down to a full, proper full change. And he's also throwing us about Bow Ideal, so he's really cool on that one as well. Just frothing on the 40s, and I'm with you, bud. That's right where a lot of my froth sits about is in the 40s. I love them. And he says that his mates would love to hear a couple of episodes on these weapons, and also
it's one of these boats, these old GP42s, and we tell you old. I was a part of the transformation of a turbocharging of a GP42 in Adelaide, and the boat's still going strong, the Shining Sea. These are a boat that kind of like the TPs, they don't seem to have an end of life. They seem to be able to be transformed into whatever the modern sort of realm is, and it's a perfect example. And Thomas, 100% true with what you're saying, and we agree with it 100%. So we're hoping that we're going to get some insight over the coming weeks as we head towards the big event. But no, I'm loving it, absolutely.
There was an email came from Paul Rhodes, just in response to the discussion with Matthias about the moth stuff. I don't want to read this one out. I just want to highlight, he wanted to highlight the value of training partners. No person wins a championship without the training partners, and he went into quite a bit of detail. but he does emphasise that we probably should have talked more about brought up some of the training partners and how they work together and all the whole process that went on. So, and I agree with that. Like I think the secret to winning world championships is to share information, train together, and then when you get to the Worlds, you're miles in front and you're just racing the guys in your training group. And so I think that's the pathway to success. I don't know how you feel about that, BP, in any way.
I read the email, and obviously it's a fairly poignant and to the point email, which we love here, and it does foster conversation. And I agree with him, 100% wholeheartedly. So, Paul, thanks for popping in the email and going through it. One of the things that comes up, obviously, is the support level, which is something that we know is a huge thing. Some people get more, some people get less, but in this case, you still got to look at sailing talent, and if that level of support is warranted, it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's team partners, clubs, family support. I think that that's how sailing is. It's not cheap, and if you can and are lucky enough to receive the tools and equipment and the support to achieve, then I mean good on Matthias for committing, because there's so many people, and sorry I'm ranting on a bit here, there's so many people who have the opportunity, whether it be financial or club or various other forms of support, that don't take that opportunity. So I think there's the other side of this is, the support was there, whether it be financial or whether it be with the club and training partners, you still got to go through with it. And I think that's another element to this email. Another element to this email is you can have all that stuff and you can just be, without want of a better word, you can just be sort of like a bit spoiled. But I think that the attitude here, especially with Matthias, was that he took that in both hands and he listened and he learned and he put all his talent into winning the Worlds. Winning the Worlds is not easy. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm saying that, not being a world champion, but I can tell you just from sailing and how hard and how much respect I have for people who put every bit of support they have into a big cup and making sure they use every last drop of it.
No worries. Appreciate those words, my friend. I do want to have one more email. I do have to read this one. This one gave me such a chuckle. A laugh during the week. It's funny because we get so many emails like this, and I just thought I'd share it with the listeners because they would get a laugh out of it. I'm not going to read the brand, but we've had a brand reach out offering to give us a gift if we'll talk about their stuff on the show, and I thought everyone would enjoy this. So this is hi Bar Karate team. I'm Sophia from ... a high-performance gear brand rooted in the world of mixed martial art, jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, where sweat meets style and stories are forged on the mats. We've been loving your unique take where martial arts meets lively banter, punchlines and real conversation. It's rare to find a crew that can mix technique, community and splash of off-the-wall fun, quite like Bar Karate.
This is crazy because, you just got to wonder if this is just AI at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Zero. Clearly, had never listened to the show once. Well, no, we love what you do. We've never listened, but we love what you do. Oh.
Yeah.
So we get this all the time. Anyway, right. So now, great emails. Thomas Holmes' email was my favourite out of that week. But I do want, so he can be in consideration here. But listener of the month, we've got Jody's email where he came in. You remember the email, BP?
Yeah, I do remember, and he's been going down the path of sort of a bit of a slamming of the fact that we're sort of in and out of having three people, and referring to us as the two old blokes in the Muppets is I've got to sort of have a bit of a laugh.
Yep, and then we've got all around the raid. The archipelago raid. We had Harvey come in. We had Archie come in. We've had Sven come in. We've had Archie with the car crash. Harvey talking about what life was like, and toothbrushes, and then Sven giving his whole detail. So they were three great.
And of course, John Schaefer making sure that the beer wasn't spilt when they had the car crash, which is a bit sort of on the edge.
Yep. So that's the choice. Is it, I think it's at Thomas, is it Schaefer, is it Jody, is it one of the three? Like, who do you feel?
I've got a bit of a deal or an ultimatum to make.
Okay.
I think that potentially Jody could be the benefactor here,
Well,
but he has to donate it. He has to donate his prize to a local club.
No, I don't want to give. No, Jody. Look, I think Bice has already voted for Jody. He sent that one in, and he's done a lot. We'll get him back on to do an update, mid-season update on the Sale GP, see where things are at. I think that's one of our plans, certainly his plan. But all those emails have been great. Look, I got to say, I really appreciate all the listeners, man. They send some great stuff to us, and we're so grateful for it. So, I think
the competition's getting pretty large.
Yeah, I think so. The vote is you and Bicey, I think, have gone Jody. I lean to Thomas a little bit more, but and actually, I really, as I know, I was a big fan of the Stockholm Road, so I was into all those other ones, but I think Jody's got the win, so we'll move on from there. So congratulations, mate. You'll be able to chat to Pat and sort it all out. Cool.
Yeah, and definitely not biased. It's one of those things. Oh.
It's hot time with Bice.
Well,
no bias.
No bias.
No nothing. TP52 Worlds, we'll probably do more of an update with Bicey, but they are underway.
I think that's necessary. Plus, it's on. This still going, so obviously we need to hear from the inside. So next week will be a good show.
So as we record, they've done 3 days, 5 races. Paprek's at the top of the board. So it's Paprek and American Magic are the 2 lead boats, 14, 15, and then there's quite a gap.
Paprek is an interesting one, isn't it? It's long-time players, and they just
something.
Yeah, been plodding away, and all of a sudden, bang! Yeah, no, it shows that this fleet just continues to evolve, doesn't it?
Yep. So we've had a couple of windy days, and as we record, the race finished.
Bicey's had a couple of windy days in his chicken shop.
Yeah, he has. But really light winds, foggy sort of race day 3. But I did say send a night to Bicey, and you've obviously seen it. Whether he had any inside goss, and he's got a bit. Been to Tom Manolo's twice in 18 hours.
And I'm pretty sure those 18 hours were pretty linked close together somehow.
And he's off at dinner at the moment. Anyway, so we'll come back to that. It's Merlin week, race week at Salcombe. Are you across that?
Love that little boat.
How cool, hey? How cool.
Yeah.
So,
still to this day, the offer still stands. I mean, I know we get all these offers, and we'd like to be in 50 million different places at once. But one day, I would like to land it that I'm actually got some time and the ability to go out and do one of those regattas. So, Merlin sailors, please keep that offer open.
Yeah, we got some great footage from it last time, and lots of banter, and they're a good bunch of people. They're a great fleet.
Although, in saying that, Jay, I don't know how our English friends are going right now. It's getting up near 24 degrees.
Oh yeah, they must be struggling. Almost have to take the jumper off.
As my business partner in the UK says, it's so hot here, the grandmas are melting.
Oh dear. But the joy of this is, obviously it's raced in tight, close river racing. There's a lot of tide movement. There's a lot of moored boats. If you haven't seen any video of it, then jump on the line and have a look. At the moment, I think we're very close to the finish. There's either one more race to go, or it's. I think we're right next to the finish, but Tom Gillard and Rachel Gray are leading the way. They've had a pretty dominant performance. They race in multiple fleets, but they are carrying a black flag, so that's the one race that they do run. But
pressure's on.
Pressure is on, so different fleets. Then Chris Gould, Sophie Mackley, and then Kristen Burrell and Sam Brewery are the top 3 as we go on, but plenty of talent right through that fleet when you go down through that. But I'm with you, Bud. I'd love to jump on board and have a go as well. They look super cool. I think I'd probably struggle to get out of the bar. I'd be having too many laughs. But yeah.
Well,
505 Nationals in the UK. I'm sure you're interested.
Of course it is. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
In theme, keeping in the themes.
Yeah, no, I just thought I'd mention because the Worlds are there middle next year. So the next Worlds are in the UK. But Michael Simpson, Carl Gibbon from the UK having the win over the overseas raiders, Howie Hamlin and Andy Zinn, the ageless Howie Hamlin, and then Michael Quirk and Tim Needham. Good on you, Quirky.
So
then
talk about the ageless. I mean, let's talk about the fleet just seems to have the same names. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's fantastic.
Oh yeah,
you know, just the competition is it's incredible, isn't it?
It's world champion, right through the top 10. Like, it is insane. It's insane, but it's a great fun boat to sail. And and then
have we heard if our old friend Higgins is going to back up over in the UK next year? Have you been speaking to him at all?
I am speaking to him. It was his birthday the other day. I had a quick chat to him. He is on his keelboat having a drift around in the Queensland tropical waters. So I'm not sure if he's tooth. And I do know he is going to Japan to go snowboarding in February next year. So I'm not sure that he'll have any money left after all this or time. I know he's going snowboarding with some of his closest friends and me. So I'll be.
So what are you going to do once his friends go out?
Yeah, I don't know. It's all cool. The final thing I do want to mention is congratulations to Malcolm Page. He's been named the CEO of Australian Sailing. So we've got a couple of mates. We've got mates head of US Sailing, and we've got Pagey in at Australian Sailing. We are in a powerful position with Barkarati.
Oh, Barkarati is looking good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Barkarati's looking good for an award this year.
Oh, I tell you, we've just got to take over UK Sailing. Oh, actually, we're not too bad in UK Sailing either. We're pretty deep in there as well. So, all right.
And US is growing. We could just end up being, taking out award after award after award. We could just end up going to award ceremonies non-stop.
I've got a tux ready to go, BP. It's been in the cupboard.
Bicey's got his tux with Velcro down the side.
No, it's
after the third award ceremony, it'll be a bit boring when Bicey's ripping his tux off.
Yeah, it will be. It will be, but it'll be funny. I'm going to keep laughing the whole time. I mean, Pagey, obviously, 8-time world champion, multiple gold medalist. He's been in roles in world sailing. He's head of media. He was chief of the Olympic sailing for US Sailing. He was the commodore of the Manly 16-foot skiff club. So he's done plenty, and he's a good guy. I value him as a human being, so I wish him absolutely the best.
I'm going to back that up. And if there's one person who can pull
everyone
not only at the elite level, but at the grassroots level, if there's one person who can pull this together, I'm 100% in his corner.
Okay.
100% in his corner. I just feel like, over the last, and I'm not being derogatory to the people involved. I just want to say that, there's been a little bit of a path that's been sort of maybe too oriented on certain elements rather than the big picture. And I think the big picture is the key here across the board. And if there's one person who has a view on the big picture, it's our mate Pagey.
Yeah, well, the grassroots is key to the whole thing. I know that was something Alistair Murray and I talked about a lot. And with Pagey in the role, it's a big step. We've got a great chairman as well, Siobhan Brolin, so South Aussie.
Yes.
So she's smashing it. So I think you've got two quite dynamic people in leadership roles there. So hopefully Australian Sailing goes well. Yeah, it'll be very interesting. But anyway, congratulations, Pagey, and Australian Sailing. Congratulations to them. I think that's it for the week for us for about Bud.
I said 100%.
Yep, another week without Bicey. Apologies to everyone. We know everyone prefers Bicey, but that's tough luck. You've got the two Muppets from.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I mean, it's one of those things, and and look, Bicey has just had the busiest couple of years. I mean, hats off to him, eh?
Yeah, yeah. Good luck to him. Good luck to everyone else out there doing regattas and racing, and best of luck. Make sure that you send us a note if you're doing anything interesting.
Please keep sending us notes, and if you've got an event you want us to talk about, it's getting more and more people are starting to see the benefits of doing so. So pump us some emails, cheers@barkrally.com, and give us a yell. We will talk about you.
Yeah, and nice. You did the cheers. Radix Nutrition, you get a discount from us. Use Barkarati as your discount code, one word. And then, our friends at Vycobi, send us whatever you send us. You might win that amazing $200 voucher from Vycobi. All right.
Okay, and for Boise, I'll get the guitar out and sing a song.
All right. Have a great week, everyone.
Cheers.
What tonight it holds a